Hi there, Pyrrho. This is a response to your video on, or a response to my video about hardness and consciousness and emergent properties. Yeah, I think we're in agreement. We're just talking a bit at cross purposes really here, Pyrrho. When I say it would be daft to understand the concept of hardness, or understand why a tree is hard, or what that feeling is, or whatever that may be, when I say that it would be daft to do an analysis of that experience or analysis of that phenomena in quantum mechanical terms, for example. I don't mean it would be daft for a kind of an arrival at an abstract truth. Of course not. I'm talking about it would be daft for our brains to have evolved to be able to do that, or not to be able to do that, but to kind of do that intuitively. It wouldn't make any sense for our brains to have, I think, to have evolved an intuitive grasp of that. Because, you know, as I've said before in these videos, the kind of hypothesis I'm pushing here is that, you know, brains have evolved in bodies that operate at a certain kind of level of operation at which certain emergent properties of the interactions of smaller entities is the most significant level to enable the survival of the organism. So, in a sense, I think we're just talking about slightly different things. I'm talking about what kinds of physics are instantiated in our understanding. What kinds of physics does the mind instantiate and represent to itself in terms of perceptions and in terms of experiences like hardness and softness, and in terms of intuitions, and of course that's limited, as you rightly point out. It is a kind of narrow bandwidth of experience compared to the breadth of experience and physical activity that's going on outside of that bandwidth, and it's going to inevitably lead to, as I've said before, mismatches between the kinds of physics that our intuition tells us the world is made of, which is, you know, our intuitions do talk about things like hardness and softness and Newtonian space and those kinds of things. It is going to lead to a mismatch between that and the sort of physics we can generate using intellectual tools like mathematics and rationality and experimentation and those kind of things, which are not intuitive most of the time, and lead to, as I say, discontinuities between our intuitions operating according to certain kinds of understandings meet the results of formal processes, which do throw up results which are deeply counterintuitive. So that's what I'm saying, really. I don't really get into the consciousness thing right now because I think that's a bit more complex. It's interesting, and I like the idea of it. But right now, it's just this thing about the level at which intuition and experience tends to operate, phenomenological operation of the body and the cognitive system, I would say, tends to operate at this emergent level where the properties are the properties of pieces of paper and trees, rather than the properties of muons, quarks, and those kinds of things. It's about understanding, not about knowing, or something. Anyway, I hope that makes some kind of sense. I just stop this thing.